Good day everyone. Today I'm going to show how to make a single welt pocket with a zipper. It took me some time to figure out some proportions and formulas, but I think I got the basics of it, which I'm going to share with you today. First, we need to prepare our pieces dependent on the desired pocket parameters. If you don't want to do any math and just want to make a single welt pocket with a zipper regardless of the measurements, then just follow the measurements of today's example. I'm going to give some approximate formulas since they can change a bit depending on the zippers and welt's width, but overall it looks something like this. Note all measurements are created in centimeters and were roughly converted to inches. You can use a centimeter to inches converter to double check the measurements. Link to the converter is going to be in the video description. 2 remarks. First, I make the pocket lining bigger overall than intended so that I can shape it at the very end to the parameters I need. This is especially useful when trying new measurements and you just want to make sure you end up having enough lining. And second, the extender piece width really depends on the welt's width and the zipper's width. You can follow the next video on how to calculate it. I made paper models as an example. The small piece resembles the zipper and the big piece is the welt piece. I really made it big just for the example. I mean, you never know, maybe you will want to make wide welts at some point. I fold my welt piece, then put it on top of the zipper, making sure it covers the zipper's metal teeth. Secure with some clips and measure the distance from the zipper to the end of the welt and add 1 centimeter, which is 3/8 of an inch to it. So in this case, it would have been 6 plus 1, 7 centimeters. Next, you can see on the screen today's example where I'm going to be making 2.5 centimeter by 14 centimeter welt pocket, which is like 1 inch by 5.5 inches. Now that I have all the needed pieces, let's start sewing. Take your welt, underwelt and the extender piece and interface it with the interfacing of your choice. Take the pocket linings and mark the right and wrong sides. Next, prepare your zipper. It should be longer than your finished pocket by at least 2 centimeters. Mark the pocket opening on the main piece. I'm going to draw a rectangle 2.5 centimeters by 14 centimeters, which is our finished pocket's measurements. Draw a line in the middle and 2 triangles on the sides with the height of 1.5 centimeters. During this step, you can interface the pocket opening. I didn't do it in this example, but depending on your garment and your pocket placement, you might want to do it. Next, we cut along those lines, making sure not to cut more than needed. I marked the sides with letters to make it easier to explain. A, B, C, and D. The D side is the side that's going to have the opening of the pocket. Now we fold the rectangle to the back side, securing it with tape or glue. Try to make this frame as neat and proportional as possible to ensure the pocket looks its best. The next step starts with looking at the direction of our pocket. It is especially important when you have a shaped lining. Put your main piece right side up, decide on the direction and choose a lining piece, putting it right side up too. This lining is going to be connected to the underwelt. Connect the underwelt to the lining with some clips first, face to face, and sew about 0.5 centimeter away from the edge. Iron it and top stitch the lining. It should look something like that. Next, let's go to the iron. We need our welt and extender pieces. Fold the welt piece in half and iron it. Fold the extender piece by 1 centimeter, just like it's shown in the video, and iron it. You can also put some glue if needed. Now we need to make a sandwich out of the second lining, the zipper, and the extender piece. Put the lining right side up and place the zipper above it. Now we need to decide on the direction of our zipper. I wanted my zipper to open from left to right on the finished pocket That's why I placed the zipper in the opposite direction on the lining, because when sewing it's going to get flipped. Place the zipper about 1/2 centimeter away from the edge, maybe a bit more depending on how much your lining fabric frays, and secure the zipper with some pins on the lining. Now we add the extender piece to the sandwich, like it's shown on the video. Secure the extender piece with some tape. Align the piece right above the zipper. It should cover the zipper by a few millimeters. Then we top stitch, making sure to sew through the 3 layers. Don't forget to secure the stitch in the beginning and the end, and then remove the pins. Next, we add the folded welt to the sandwich. The folded side gets aligned with the zipper teeth and should cover it. Now the welt shouldn't be too far up, exposing the zipper, but don't cover the zipper too much, since we need some spare zipper fabric to connect everything to the main garment. After you decide on the welt's placement, secure it on the sandwich with a tape or some clips. Connect the welt to the extender piece about 1/2 centimeter away from the edge. Now we attach our welt to the main piece, more specifically to the B side. Put a tape on the wrong side of the B side. You can mark the finished welt's length to help you with aligning the welt. I measured 2.5 centimeters, which is 1 inch from each side. I found it easier to lay the sandwich down and adjust the main piece above it. If you don't like how it looks, keep adjusting the placement. Now that I like what I see, I top stitch the B side starting at the corners, and I marked the starting and the finishing points for assistance. Make sure to flip the lining to the D side so that you don't top stitch it by mistake. Start right on the corner and top stitch about 1-2 mm from the edge, securing the stitch by hand. For the next step, we pull our zipper so that the slider is placed under the welt and not outside of it. Next, we attach the underwelt to the main piece by placing a tape about 1/2 centimeter above the zipper. Now we top stitch A, D, C, and we also mark the corners to act as a guidance. I find this step the most challenging. You have to be careful while sewing because of the metal teeth. You will also have to pull the slider a bit down to have space for the foot to go through. There are 2 things I have done while top stitching. First, I used the hand wheel to sew manually without pushing the pedal to have more control over the needle. And second, I increased my stitch length since the bulk of the pocket increased quite a bit. These steps are especially useful if you are not using a heavy-duty machine. It is easy to break a needle during this step. Secure the stitches by machine or by hand. I do it by hand because I don't want to load the machine more than needed, and it actually looks much neater. And lastly, close our lining by firstly securing it with pins and then adding the finishing stitch. Make sure to go through all the layers except the main piece. Start somewhere here near the previous stitches, and after securing, sew around the linings, finishing your stitch at the other side of the pocket. As you can see, the linings don't end up identical, so just cut the excess. Just a small remark about the extender piece. We definitely need it when making wider welts. For example, today my welt was 2.5 centimeters in width, and the zipper I used was also 2.5 centimeters in width, which means I wouldn't have enough zipper fabric to attach everything. That's why I needed the extender piece. But when sewing a narrower welt, for example, if your welt is going to be 1 centimeter in width, and your zipper is 2.5 centimeters in width, you will have more than enough fabric to attach the zipper, and you won't need any extender for this kind of pockets. And that's it for today. Let me know if you found this tutorial useful. Write in the comments if you have any other suggestions. Maybe you already tried making this pocket. Let me know if it was a success for you. Until next time, take care and bye bye.